Hi everyone, it's me, Ross, and here on the table we have almighty OnePlus 13 using ColorOS 15, and on the left side we have iPhone 16 Pro Max using iOS 18.2, which is still in beta, but for the comparison purposes it is more than enough. And what today's video will be about, it will be about the smoothness. Why? Because this device is using ColorOS 15, because this is a Chinese version, and Chinese versions of OnePlus devices are using ColorOS instead of OxygenOS, but to be honest, they are becoming the same operating system. And Oppo claims that ColorOS 15 should be the smoothest OS you've ever experienced. That's why we'll test it today against the operating system they are trying to be, and this is iOS coming from Apple. So let's check the versions. This one is using, as you can see, latest version of ColorOS 15. You can see it's 15, and this iPhone, just a second, you can see it is using iOS 18.2, which is the latest and greatest. This is beta 4, by the way, developer beta 4, but it is smooth, more than enough smooth, so we can compare it directly with our ColorOS 15. And how we will compare it? Of course, all the animations, all the sections in the menu where you can experience that smoothness, we will test it and we'll compare with this device, which should be the main competitor of ColorOS 15. So I will start first by launching some widgets, and of course at the end of the video I will slow down these recordings so you can see better how it's launched and is there any lags, delays when all the apps are launched or when they are closed, and so on and so on. So without further ado, let's start. First, I will turn off the screens. Both devices has enabled always on displays. You can see how they are look, and let's tap on it just to check the lock screens. You can see we have adverts even in the stock player of ColorOS 15, which is very sad. Both have that dynamic island and they are almost identical. ColorOS 15 just copied this dynamic island from iOS. But now let's turn off the screens, because I'm using my player a lot and this is important to me. You can see the iOS 18 has that player, even I'm using external player. This is YouTube Music, but you have the player in the AOD, and if I tap it, I have it on the lock screen. Let's tap here and you can see I have it here, but it's of course not so beautiful as this one on the iOS. We have just a very small thumbnail. Even I'm using the stock application, the stock music player of ColorOS 15, which should be the Chinese player, but you can see we have very ugly player here. And if we unlock it, we have now the players here on that, and if you tap here, this will expand and this will have it on a small bubble, and if we tap one more time we will go directly to the player. So now it's going there, and if we tap here we have it like this, and if we tap here it will directly open the application. Not going to make, I prefer that way, and if we tap twice it will open the whole application, which is nice addition by ColorOS 15 compared to iOS 18.2. Let's stop this music player. I just want to test if this is working with external players like YouTube Music. All right, let's play it now, and you can see nothing happens. We missed that player too. So at that moment, this is only working. Let's lock the device. We have the same player here, the same ugly player. It's not going to the AOD. We have it only in the lock screen, but we don't have that pear-shaped dynamic island with other than stock application. Let's open the players one more time so we can just test that opening and closing application. it is smooth here. To be honest, it is very smooth. Now let's continue opening all the applications, like for example the clock, which the clock widget is again directly copied from iOS 18. So this is ColorOS 15. Let's snap and open it. Here it is way more beautiful with this big analog clock. And by the way, if we go to the timers and enable a timer, again it will go to dynamic island. Here it is the same. It is just counting there. If we tap, it will expand in that big pew shape. Here it will directly open the application. Here you need to tap twice. So again, that nice animation. To be honest, this is a very smooth one. Now I will leave it there. And here let's move to the next one, which should be the weather widget. Let's tap it and check the animations. The widget itself is almost directly copied from iOS. You can see even the look of the widget. It is almost the same as the one on the iOS, but let's close now the applications. You can see it, even the animation is almost the same as the one on the iOS. Now let's start opening here. Opening and closing the applications. Nothing special. It's alright. Calculator. X. Alright, let's close it. And now we are going to the camera and let's snap some shots just to check which of them is faster. Okay, I will just snap some shots to check which one is faster, because when it's dark it start adjusting the light. So I will snap 4 shots. Let's check. 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 shots. Timer is ended. The other one is ended too. Now let's check if this one can snap 4 shots so fast. 1, 2, 3, and we have just 3 shots. I snap 4. You can see my finger. Even I can lower the speed so you can check better. But I snap 4 shots and 3 are recorded on the iPhone and 4 are recorded on the OnePlus 13. So I will count this as a win for Oxygen OS 15. Now we were here in the camera. Now let's go in YouTube Music and Music at all. Open that widget. Let's open now the browser. And settings. Now what's the animation here? If we go here, we have this bouncy effect at the beginning and at the end. To be honest, they are very close each other, but we have that bouncy effect for both devices. Let's close it now. The same animation. And let's go here to the app library. You can see, if I scroll down, you can see what's really happened on the iOS 18. It is start scrolling when I tap on the letters, but let's do this here and you will see that beautiful animation. Can you see it? And the haptic vibration is very nice too. So this is something I really like. What else we have? If we go here in settings, wallpaper and style, and we have here a themes. So if I tap here on the themes, first I just want to show you how we have that 3D depth effect. Let's lock the device. Now let's go here. You can see the mountain and the clock is behind the mountain. So we have that 3D depth effect, which also we have here, of course, on the iOS. And you can see how it is covering the clock with the part of the wallpaper. this depth effect on the lock screen. But now ColorOS improved it a lot, and if we go here, we have tons of new lock screens, and they are very different. We have this never settle style, we have that brilliant, and here now we have that depth effect. And I will tap to customize my lock screen so we can directly compare both ColorOS and iOS. So we have, if we tap here, we have that depth effect on and off. We have it here. You can see what's happened with the cut. And if we tap here on the style, we have, we can blur the main object, or we can unblur it. Also, we have here different styles, which we can bring a different type of effects on the main subject of the wallpaper. What we have here, we can go here for automatic light and dark, and also we have different colors which we can enable here. Widgets, of course. Here, if we tap on the clock, we can change it to weather. Here we have steps, and we have different types of clock which we can choose from. And you can see it is almost directly compared with iOS. So ColorOS is just becoming another copy of iOS. Let's open a folder. You can see how it is dragging the icons here to the folder. You can see that animation. I like it a lot. And let's check here. Here it is just expanding the folder, and nothing special is happened, just expanding the folder. Here it is way more beautiful. Now let's go and see the recents. Again, swiping left to right, it is almost the same. Here it is slower. Here it is way more faster to me, and we have here this bouncy animation showing you icons of the application which is currently opened. And if we hold here, for example, the last one, let me just X, let's go to X, and here I will go for X2. If I hold my finger and I can just remove it. Let's do the same here. It is not expanding so obvious, this X. You can just swipe it up or down. Now let's go to the latest. This is something I just want to show you, but if we go here in the latest, what we can do is, if you swipe from the bottom, you can go directly to split view, or you can go to that floating window. So now we have an application open in floating window. Of course, this will help a lot with your multitasking. If we tap here, if we go here, we can directly go. You can see this bouncy, nice animation, and to be honest, ColorOS improved a lot these animations. Now we have it here. If we tap on these dots, we can minimize, close, or go to full screen. Of course, here we are missing all these options. We can just swipe it up or down just to skip the last application. Let's go for multi-window like this, and split view. It will open now in split view, and I can tap and open. Setting is not supporting it, but let's open YouTube. You can see now, drag the divider to enlarge the window, so we can go like this. Now with ColorOS 15, we can just drag it to way more bottom. You can see how small is now the YouTube, and it is still in split view, so you can operate both the upper and the bottom part of the screen. If you want a more bigger screen for X, for example, you can do like this, and vice versa. You can open YouTube and check everything until you are checking your notifications for Twitter. So this is another useful feature coming with ColorOS. 15, and of course it is improving the animations way more. Now let's go for the part which I mostly hate about all the Chinese brands, and ColorOS now just become like every other brand. They are just doing their control center same as iOS 1. Let me just show you. They create a new option, notification and quick settings. If you go in quick settings, you can select by classic. This is the classic screen, and you can select a split. What does mean? If you swipe here on the right side, it will expand all your toggles, music player and so on, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, mobile data, and all the toggles. Of course, you can swipe left and right to check more toggles. And here on the iOS, it is almost the same. Now I have only one page here, but of course, now we can add a control and create it even like this. Add a control, and I can even add new page, so I can swipe up and down on these iOS pages. You can see control center now is way more useful. Is it beautiful? Is it with good animations? I cannot say that. I don't like this because to me this is not functional. We have all these settings everywhere, and now we need to swipe on the control center up or down. We have here just left or right, which is for more toggles, which it has its own point, but I don't like the way Oppo are going, because now you are swiping on the right side, you will receive all your toggles. If you swipe on the left side, you will receive your notifications, which is something I don't like, because these phones are very big, and now you need to grab your device and go to the upper left corner. Of course, we are not using iOS, and we can just swipe on the home screen, and on the left side it will bring notifications, which is very useful. And if you swipe on the right side, it will bring the toggles. This is very useful, but I don't like this implementation because it is just copying the iOS. Guys, just check this blur. Now even iOS has better blur than all Chinese Android devices. What the hell is this, guys? What is this? Is this a real blur? It's so ugly. Let me just play a song here, and you can see what's this with this small thumbnail. It is so ugly to me. If you tap on it, it will bring a bigger blur, just like on iOS. Can you see it? It is, I don't want to say anything, but I don't like it. For example, let me just show you. This is Pixel 9 Pro, and now if I swipe down, I have here my blur with a big thumbnail, and it's way more beautiful. Under it are all the notifications. This is the way I want my device, and if I tap it, it will just open the bigger blur, not like a small window. If I tap, of course I want to go in the application. Why it's not going in the app? I need to tap twice. What's the point of doing these 3 taps? I just don't like it. If you tap, it will just expand the blur. I can access all these buttons even from the small blur. What's the point of expanding it? I just cannot understand. And here is the ideal way. I have the blur, a beautiful one with very big thumbnail, and if I want just to go to the app, just tap on it. That's it. To me, this is overcomplication. I just can't understand iOS and all the Chinese brands which are trying to copy iOS. So this is it about the notification center. You just swipe on the right, you are receiving the toggles just like on the iOS, but here of course it's harder because you need to stretch your finger to the upper right part and swipe there. Notifications, if you swipe here and here, you can see they are grouped here. We have everything from Max here, and here we have just an endless scrolling. I have here, you can see I have from a Gmail, another from a Gmail. What's the point of all these Gmails? I just cannot understand that iOS. But we have that beautiful animation. You can see how they are bouncing until they are scrolling. This is beautiful. I like it. So guys, I think I already explained almost everything, the difference between the both operating systems, iOS and ColorOS, and now you can imagine what's the real difference. And now, to me, it's time to directly compare launching these applications. Of course, I will record all these movements in a slow motion. You can check it at the end of the video, but now I will just launch all the applications. Of course, I'm recording at 60 FPS, so you can see it better launching, but I will try to do it simultaneously on both devices. Let's start.